In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with Tre Tailor. Coping. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life because we will always be coping with something. It's May, and we are coping with mental health awareness. Dr. Nicole Edwards joins us. She is a board-certified family physician in Columbia, South Carolina. She's going to talk to us next about mental health and how it affects you physically. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us once again. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Tre. You know I love coping.
Thank you, and we appreciate it. We'll come right back with Dr. Nicole in just a short. But first, hey, don't forget to check the bottom of the screen. Scrolling throughout the show, you will see information on community events, job listings, also financial resources, including scholarships and help if you need assistance with your rent, your mortgage, and all of your bills. All of that and so much more will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We are streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please go to those pages and post and share so we can get the message to the masses. Today, we are coping with mental health awareness. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. And Dr. Nicole Edwards joins us. She is a board-certified family physician. She practices here in Columbia, South Carolina. She's also an author. And also, she has a health medical spa. Is that what you would call it, Nicole?
I actually call it a relaxation spa, but yes, it is a health spa.
Yeah, it's a health spa because you recognize as a medical physician that your relaxation, your mental, your most emotional health, all of that is important and has an effect on your physical health.
Absolutely, it does. The biggest thing that I tout is that I practice, and I want my patients to be whole person healthy and finances. And so a lot of times if we are sick or we have dis-ease in our physical health, it's going to spill over to our mental. Or if we have it in our mental health, it's going to spill over to our physical. I have yet to see a person that's dealing with cancer that doesn't also deal with depression. I have yet to see a person that's not dealing with diabetes, that's not dealing with some anxiety. Okay, because all of it goes together. We are one body, but we're made up of three parts. And so if one part gets sick, the rest of it's going to follow.
And that just makes sense. If you have any kind of physical something, you're going to, for the most part, be concerned about it, thinking about it, which brings stress, which affects what? Your mental health. That's your mental health.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we put such a stigma on mental health, or we're going to pray it away, or we're going to, just sleep it away, or we're going to just try and ignore it. We're going to try and sweep it under the rug. But we have to understand that our mental health is oftentimes a hormonal imbalance as well. So just like diabetes has to deal with our insulin levels, insulin is a hormone in our body. Our mental health also has to do with hormones in our body, whether that be our dopamine, our serotonin, our epinephrine, our norepinephrine. A lot of times, if these levels are off, it's going to make us mentally ill or mentally sick.
Yeah. So, Nicole, how do you know if your mental health is caused by your physical health?
It is, but you should know. I'm just going to tell you, it is. Like there's no way around it. I definitely guarantee you that it is. The way you know is you have to be in tune with your body. You have to know your body, and you have to know your own symptoms. Listen, we can't just ignore things. You have to know, okay, if I'm not vibing the way I usually vibe, if somebody says my energy is running low, or my vibe is running low, or I'm sleeping a whole lot more, I'm sleeping all day long and I still can't seem to get enough sleep, sometimes that can be a sign of depression. All right. Sometimes if we are overdoing it with our bodies, all right, whether we're dealing with life and everything that's coming at us, or dealing with a lot of medical issues, if we're having the jitteriness, anxiety can cause and oftentimes mimic things like our heart racing, or our blood pressure being up, or even sweating, or just feeling anxious, bouncing your leg a lot. You just can't seem to sit still.
All of that sounds like what I'm doing right now.
Me too, underneath the table, my legs are bouncing. That's always for me, right? Because I just deal with anxiety. It's just always there. I'm always having to think ahead. Well, what's going to happen the next
Yes.
day? What's going to happen
Yes.
the next minute? I go to lay down and I can't turn my brain off.
Turn the
I
brain
go
off.
to relax or rest and I can't. Why? Because I'm just always worried about, well, what's going to happen next? They call it that, that type A personality. Pshaw, get that out of here. It is. That's how we are, but that is anxiety.
Yeah.
All right. And a lot of times it's depression. And those things have a very fine line with even ADHD. When we can't seem to keep our attention on one thing and we're jumping from one thing to the next thing. Is it depression? Is it anxiety? Is it ADHD? Or is it all three? All of it. Now, see, the thing is, you'll admit, okay, ADHD or ADD, even with adults, is a medical issue. But is it?
Right.
Is it? Because when you have ADD, a lot of times I will say you also need to go get some therapy. Because a lot of times that has to do a lot with our anxiety, with our depression. And so how do you know? Just know that it is. All right. So if you're dealing with anything in your life, any health issues, like I said, blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune diseases, whatever, you need to do a mental health check-in.
Right.
All right. You got to check in. Am I sleeping okay? Am I eating okay? Am I exercising? Am I able to relax? Am I able to calm down? Am I able to take a little time for myself? Okay. Because your mental health is very important to your overall health.
Yeah. Dr. Nicole Edwards joins us. She's a board certified family physician, practices in Columbia, South Carolina. We are coping with Mental Health Awareness Month. That's May. And we're talking about how mental health affects you physically. So, Nicole, what do you do? What can you do when your mental health is affecting you physically?
Okay. So this is my new thing. And you're going to hear me spouting this a lot. I say, if you feel like your life is spinning out of control, so your mental health is not doing well, in an effort to regain that control, you need to pump the brakes so that you can get a grip. All right. Mm-hmm. And pump the brakes means you've got to not just stop, not just, I don't know if anybody's from the Northeast where it used to get icy and snow. So you feel like you're spinning out of control.
Yeah,
and so the thing that you need to do, you don't want to slam on the brakes because that'll make you spin even more. All right. So what you've got to do, you've got to slowly slow down. There's something called sympathetic overload. That's when our sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight in our bodies, goes into overload. That can happen with stress. That can happen with anxiety. That can happen with overwhelm. That can happen anytime. When that happens, our body's releasing cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And all of that kind of mucks up our brain and mucks up our body. Cortisol also increases our belly fat, so we could be dealing with weight gain. But when all of that's happening, you've got to actually calm down your system, your sympathetic, to relax. And how does that happen? You really need 15 to 20 minutes. Here's the thing, though. If you're going straight from a stressful job, and as soon as you walk in the door at home, your kids are hollering at you. And then as soon as you leave from there, you're on your way to church, but you don't just sit at church. You have to work when you're at church. And then you leave from there, and then you're going to go take care of Big Mama. And then you're leaving from there, and you're having to go to your sorority or fraternity.
Right.
And you're
constantly going.
So you are just going. This is sympathetic overload. All right. And your body is never getting a chance to come down. And if you don't ever get a chance to come down, then you just stay. What happens when we get sympathetic overload? We get what I call the F's. We get fat, we get finicky, we get all things happen. You get your blood pressure goes crazy, your heart rate goes up.
Also affects your mental health.
All of it all spills all over. And so when you have all this, what you've got to do, you've got to take a minute. How do we pump the brakes? You got to relax for a minute. Even if you just get 15 minutes, sing a song. Go outside, take a walk, just close your eyes for a minute, relax for just a few minutes. And that's why I opened up the wellness and relaxation spa, because some people just need a minute. Like I like to just go in myself. I like to go in there and just sit in the chair for a little bit. Give me a nice little 15-minute chair massage. All right. Or let me soak my feet for a few minutes before I go home. Because I leave from one work and I go to my next full-time job.
Right.
But you can't do that and not expect to keep going. At some point, if you don't take a break, your body's going to take a break for you.
Wow. Dr. Nicole Edwards joins us. We are coping with mental health, talking about how mental health affects you physically. Before you go, you mentioned your mental health and wellness spa. Tell us about some of the services you provide, because you said something really key just now, that you can just take a break for a couple of minutes and keep going. And you offer that at the spa.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So 15 minutes is all we really need. 15 to 20 minutes is what we need for our sympathetic system
Overload.
to calm down. And so you really do need that. So sometimes that can be a quiet drive. And it's different for each person what relaxes you. Maybe
Right,
exercise relaxes some
right,
people.
right.
Maybe sitting in quiet relaxes some people. Maybe music relaxes some people. Bright lights might make you, overloaded, but some people need light. So everybody's a little bit different. Here at my wellness spa, things that we offer, we do yoni steams, we do foot detoxes, we do chair massages, we do massage therapy with an actual massage therapist. That's a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but it's available. We even do IV therapy replacement. So sometimes your body just needs a little rejuvenation, and sometimes you just want to come and just sit in the chair just to relax. We do offer where you can come in with by yourself, you can come in with your friends. We have different things. If you want gospel music, we can play gospel. If you want some jazz, we can play jazz. I ask you when you come in, what kind of music do you want? If you don't want any music at all, we have
Right.
aromatherapy that also helps to soothe. We use things like lavender, which is has a calming effect. And we also talk about what supplements can you use to help with relaxation and calming as well. And so these are the things that we offer at the relaxation spa. It's so very important, even if it's just as short as 15 minutes, but if you can get 30, even better. But I know everybody doesn't have 30 minutes.
Right.
15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes is all our bodies need to kind of relax a bit and reset so that we can keep going.
Awesome. If you want more information about the relaxation spa, you can see that information on the screen. We're coping with mental health awareness. It's May. Please take the time, if no other time than this month, to start a mental health awareness regimen for yourself. As you said, Dr. Nicole, even if it's not but 15 minutes a day throughout the day, maybe 3 times at 15 minutes, you are just getting yourself together, relaxing, whether, like you said, whatever that means to you. Figure out what it means, because it's different for everybody, and address your mental health. You will feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, and
it'll even make you look better.
And I was going to say physically. Yes, I was going to say that too. Dr. Nicole Edwards is an author, a board certified speaker, and medical professional family medicine practitioner. And she is based in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you so much, Dr. Nicole. We appreciate you always, girl. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love coping.
Absolutely.
Love
Thank
you,
you
Tre.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. Love you back. Hey, coming up, don't forget, we've got your devotional, which is another form of mental health, and so much more. That's next on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Hey there. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we will always be coping with something. Hey, before I leave, I want to share this devotional with you. This is from Conversations with God. It's from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services in Columbia, South Carolina. This is such a great book. It includes some of her prayers, some of her diary readings, and devotionals. This one says, "Trust me, my child. I know you're having a hard time praying, studying, and focusing on me. I know you don't like the way this feels. You can't rely on your feelings." That's good. This is about knowing, being faithful, and holding on. Knowing even if you don't feel or see it. Isn't that such a wonderful reminder that God is with us always, even if we don't feel it, see it, or hear it? We've got to know it. That's what faith is all about. It's from Cheryl Mims Williams from Agape Counseling and Training Services. This is called Conversations with God. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we will always be coping with something. The good thing about it is that we're never alone. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Coping. dealing with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you.